I arrived in blue static and a wall of alarms already screaming. The Hanford control room was dim except for the glare of monitors, and on the center display a gravitational wave chirp climbed exactly as it should, then refused to die. Instead of fading away, the trace held as a rhythmic pulse, like a heartbeat teaching the machine a new tempo. I knew enough about black hole mergers to feel my neck tighten. Nature did not repeat itself that neatly. I lunged to the nearest console just as a side monitor flashed words I had hoped never to see again. Security patch initiated. Auto-sanitize in 90 seconds. I had seen that language in 2003, after an interferometer anomaly vanished behind a cheerful explanation and a very tidy log file. Back then, the evidence had been scrubbed before I could prove anything. I was not about to lose a second mystery to the same trick. The Hanford lead scientist snapped that no one was to touch the archive until they verified the instrument state. Beside the main bank, the young LIGO operator whispered that if the patch ran, any unapproved buffer would be purged. "Then help me make this approved," I said, fingers already moving. I piggybacked a manual diagnostic request onto the timing system, the sort of bureaucratic detour a machine mistakes for obedience. The countdown slowed, hesitated, and gave me a sliver of time. "This signal doesn't fit a clean merger," I told them. "If you erase it now, you erase your chance to know why." That was when the hidden operative stepped from the rear station with a facility badge and the calmest face in the room. He announced a partial lockdown for data integrity and national security, and suddenly corridor lights shifted red across the monitor grid. Access to the main servers narrowed. The vacuum tube corridor sealed. He said the words like procedure. I heard them like a threat. I have learned, over a life spent tumbling through history, that danger often arrives wearing an official badge. So while the room argued, I took stock. I was standing in one of the most important scientific sites on Earth, at the very moment humanity was preparing to hear Spacetime ring for the first time. LIGO, the Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory, had been built for a dream so ambitious it sounded absurd. Measure a distortion in reality itself, far smaller than a proton. 2 arms, each 4 kilometers long, stretched across the Washington desert. A laser split raced down both paths, bounced from suspended mirrors, and returned to compare lengths so precisely that a passing gravitational wave could stretch one arm and squeeze the other by an amount almost too tiny to imagine. Einstein had predicted such waves a century earlier. Massive objects like black holes should churn spacetime and send ripples across the cosmos. Generations of physicists had chased that prediction through doubt, engineering nightmares, and years of listening to what often seemed like silence. If this detection was real, it would do more than confirm a theory. It would open a new way to observe the universe. But if the signal was corrupted, if even a whisper of fraud touched it, the triumph could collapse before it was born. The lead scientist stared at the screen as if afraid to blink. In a lower voice, she admitted what was truly at stake. They had devoted careers to building an ear for the universe, and the whole enterprise depended on trust. One artificial note, one unexplained contamination, and critics would call the detection fantasy. Funding would vanish. Decades of labor would be mocked as wishful listening. I did not tell her that behind this repeating pulse, I could already feel the hidden hand tightening its grip. They had manipulated archives before. Now, I feared, they were trying to edit the cosmos. We zoomed into the waveform together. The main event was unmistakable. The rising chirp of 2 black holes spiraling inward, colliding and settling down. But in the ring-down phase, where the signal should have faded, tiny repeated structures kept appearing at exact intervals. The young LIGO operator cross-checked the delayed Livingston feed with trembling hands. The core event matched. The strange sustained component did not. That meant the universe had spoken to both detectors, but only Hanford was hearing the echo. I leaned closer to the screen until the pattern almost seemed to breathe. And then I recognized it. Not random noise, not instrument shiver, a timing sequence, a key.